Assalamu alaikum. Hi everyone. How are you doing today? Okay, today's lesson is about how to write a report. Firstly, what is a report? A report is an informative piece of writing concerning a particular issue. It is addressed to your teacher, headmaster, and is written in response to a request or instruction. Reports should be written in a formal style. But what do we mean by a formal style? It means you should use complex sentences, you should use passive, and you should use linking words and phrases, and at the same time avoid using any colloquial English. Okay? So, firstly, you should give your report an appropriate title and then carefully plan the information you will present. Think of suitable subheadings, then decide on the information you will include under each subheading. Don't forget to use linking words to join your ideas. Let's consider the structure of report writing. Firstly, a report is highly factual and inform the reader rather than trying to make them feel or react in a particular way. The report is typically uses subheadings to organize the text. And the language. The language in a report is objective. What do we mean by objective? It means it states the facts rather than attempting to manipulate the reader's emotions. The purpose is usually to provide the reader with relevant information in an ordered way. Therefore, the vocabulary should be standard English and straightforward, presenting the topic precisely. Okay? So, therefore, a standard report should consist of an introduction, state the aim and the main purpose of your report. Main body, develop the rubric prompts into 2 paragraphs minimum with 2 appropriate subheadings. And conclusion, general assessment or recommendation. Please remember to use present simple tense to express general facts. The past tense may be used, of course, but only when describing past events, like a school trip, for example. So, now let's consider this example, but before, I want you to remember that most evaluation or assessment reports are assignments requested by your teacher or principal to assess or evaluate, for example, a school trip, a project, or plan. So you will be given 2 prompts, which may include your suggestions and opinions. That opinion may include the positive and the negative features of the object discussed. And finally, your general assessment or recommendation. Consider the example here. This is an example from an exam. Your school has asked its students to suggest ways to improve the general health of students. Write a report for your teacher. In your report, say why it's important for students to keep healthy. Give 2 suggestions of things students could do to keep healthy. Give 2 suggestions of things the school could do to help students keep healthy. Well, let's consider this. As you can note that there are 3 bullet points, which means you need to write 3 body paragraphs under 3 headings. Clear? So, before we start, I want you to consider some useful language to be used in the introduction for report writing. Okay. The purpose, the aim, or the intention of this report is to examine or assess or evaluate the summer camp, the field trip, the summer course, whatever. As requested, this is a report concerning the subject or proposal of introducing compulsory sports for all students at school. This report contains the assessment of the school field to which assigned. This report outlines the lesson learned from field trip 2 and suggestions for future field trips. The aim or the purpose of this report is to highlight or investigate or recommend or present what we have learned from. So for the topic that we have just discussed, this is the introduction, okay? So we will start by the word purpose for the introduction, and then the aim of this report is to suggest practical ways to improve the general health of students at Brantley High. You can write the name of your school or any other school. So you don't have to write very complicated sentences. The language here is very simple and straightforward. Now let's move to the language that can be used in writing the body paragraphs. Okay, it was interesting to learn. The best part of the trip was the school administration should consider almost all students, the vast majority of the students. Many students were captivated to see. Students were amazed to learn. It was fascinating to see. We all got insight into the importance. We managed to study fascinating facts about. The vast majority of students were stunned as they discovered. However, many students felt that the timing or the location of the trip was, notwithstanding the merits of the proposal, plan, or field trip, it was totally saddening or disheartening to see or to learn that a large number of students found that the trip was disorganized. I strongly believe that, I vehemently believe that it was my unwavering pretense that. So here body paragraphs should be, okay? So you need to write 3 body paragraphs, sometimes 2, depending on the question itself. And always remember that you should write and underline the subheadings for each body. Let's read this. Why students should stay healthy? It is really important for young people to have regular exercise and a balanced diet, as they are good for both the body and the mind. Healthy students find it less difficult to study as they can concentrate during lessons better. What students can do? Students can improve their health by keeping active at break times. And instead of sitting inside and chatting, they could carry on their conversations while they walk around the sports field. They could also come to school by bicycle or on foot instead of having their parents drive them there. What school can do? The school could help students to stay healthy by banning unhealthy food, such as burgers and pizzas in the canteen, and having a more interesting salad bar. They could also build a fitness studio for students with the latest equipment, such as running and rowing machines. Is it clear? Okay. Now we're going to move to the conclusion and recommendations. And again, we need to learn some useful language for the conclusion, which is the last paragraph in your report. For the above reasons, I recommend. It was therefore apparent, obvious that would be ideal for Overall, all the things considered, on the basis of the points mentioned above, it would seem that the only conclusion to be drawn from these facts is that, all things considered, it would be practical, advantageous, wise to. I strongly suggest that or recommend. I recommended that the best course of action would be. I would recommend that. Perhaps we could also consider asking. For the reason I would highly recommend that. I am convinced that they, in the light of what we observe from the visit, it is high time we started using. Now, here is the conclusion of the topic we're writing. Conclusion. On the basis of the points mentioned above, it would seem that students, parents, and the school administration should work hand in hand on enhancing the general health of students. This could be done by leading a healthy lifestyle both inside and outside school. Okay, so this is how the report should be. And that's everything for today's lesson. If you're interested in more report samples, please click on the link pasted under the video. I have to say bye-bye now. Thank you for watching my video. Wait for me, coming soon. Bye.